You are in the room, but you are not of the room. Look at them. Look at the chaos. While everyone else is fighting to be heard shouting over the music, laughing too loudly at jokes that aren't funny, performing like trained monkeys for a scrap of validation, you are silent. You are the one standing at the edge of the frame. You are the one who listens 10 times more than he speaks. You are the one who leaves the party early without saying goodbye to anyone, slipping out the back door like a phantom. People call you shy. They call you introverted. They ask you that patronizing question you've heard 1,000 times since childhood. Why are you so quiet? They look at you with pity. They assume you're anxious. They assume you don't know what to say. They assume you're socially broken. They are wrong. They have no idea what you're actually doing. They don't know that while they were busy seeking attention, you were dissecting them. You noticed the way the host's smile didn't reach his eyes. You saw the subtle flinch in your boss's hand when a specific competitor was mentioned. You tracked the power dynamics of the entire room, who's sleeping with whom, who's lying, who's terrified, before you even finished your first drink. You're not shy. You're not broken. You are a ghost observer. And in a world addicted to noise, you possess the most dangerous trait of all, invisibility. But let's be honest with each other. We're alone now. This skill, it didn't come for free. You didn't buy it. You paid for it with your childhood. For most of you watching this, your silence wasn't a choice. It was a survival mechanism. You didn't learn to be quiet because you loved peace. You learned to be quiet because noise was dangerous. Maybe you grew up in a chaotic home. A home where the emotional temperature shifted in a split second. Maybe you had a father whose mood could snap from joy to rage without warning. Maybe you had a mother who was emotionally fragile, who needed you to be the adult before you were 10 years old. In that environment, you learned that to be seen was to be targeted. If you made noise, you were a problem. If you were invisible, you were safe. So you learned a specific biological skill, hypervigilance. You learned to read the weather of a room. You learned to distinguish the sound of your father's footsteps when he was happy versus when he was angry. You learned to detect the microscopic change in tone that signals danger. You learned to suppress your presence, to become a ghost. This survival mechanism saved you as a child. But now, as an adult, it feels like a curse because you see too much. You sit in meetings with ideas that could save the company, but you don't speak up because your brain is screaming that it's not safe. You watch people with half your intelligence and zero of your insight get promoted, get the girl, get the money simply because they're loud, simply because they have the audacity to speak. You feel like a spectator in your own life. You're watching the movie of your life, but you're never the main character. You're just the camera. You feel erased. Society tells you this is a defect. The world worships the extrovert ideal, the loud, the charismatic, the alpha. They tell you to come out of your shell. They send you to seminars to build confidence. But today, we're going to flip the script. I'm going to show you that your silence is not a defect. It is a weapon. It is a weapon that has been used by the deadliest classes of warriors in history, from the shinobi, spies of feudal Japan, to the modern intelligence officer. You're holding a loaded gun. You just don't know how to take the safety off. Let's strip away the emotion and look at the machinery. Why are you different? Why does the loud person love the party and you hate it? Modern neuroscience gives us part of the answer, though the full picture is more complex than any simple model can capture. Think of it this way. The loud person, the extreme extrovert, has a nervous system calibrated for high stimulation. Their brain's reward centers light up in response to novelty, social feedback, and external stimulation. To feel good, they need the loud music. They need the attention. They need the constant validation of the crowd. They're broadcasting energy to get a return. If the room ignores them, they starve. They crumble. Their confidence is purely external. You are different. Your nervous system is calibrated for depth, not breadth. You're not bored at the party. You're overstimulated. While the loud person is simply being, you are Recording. Think of a predator in the wild. Does the tiger roar when it's hunting? No, the prey makes noise. The herd bleats. The sheep make noise to comfort each other, to signal, I am here, don't eat me. The predator is silent. The predator observes the herd, looking for the limp, the weakness, the gap in the formation. Your social anxiety is actually predatory focus that you've turned inward on yourself. You're anxious because you're taking in 1,000 times more data points than the average person. You're running a high-resolution simulation of reality while everyone else is playing a simple game. The only problem is, you're using this supercomputer to judge yourself instead of judging them. Here's something you've probably noticed but never named. When you're silent for too long, people start to act weird. They start to over-explain. They start to stutter. They ask, is everything okay? They start to reveal secrets they shouldn't. Why? Because your silence acts as a mirror. When you don't offer them the validation they're begging for, their energy bounces off you and hits them in the face. They're forced to look at themselves. And usually, they hate what they see. In clinical psychology, there's a method used to deal with narcissists, psychopaths, and toxic manipulators. It's called the gray rock method. The idea is simple. You become as uninteresting as a rock. You offer no emotional reaction. Why does this work? Because manipulators feed on narcissistic supply. They feed on your reaction. They need you to be impressed, or scared, or angry. When you're a ghost observer, you're naturally gray-rocking the world. And whether you realize it or not, this terrifies people. Your silence is not passive, my friend. It is an active, aggressive force that destabilizes the ego of everyone around you. You've been doing this by accident. Now we're going to learn how to do it on purpose. To understand the true power of your nature, we must leave the modern world. We must go back to the year 1600, Japan, the Battle of Sekigahara. This was the largest samurai battle in history. 160,000 men gathered in a valley of fog. Imagine the noise, the screaming of horses, the clash of steel, the roar of muskets, the shouting of orders. It was a cacophony of death. In the middle of this chaos was a young man, a nobody. His name was Miyamoto Musashi. He was not a general yet. He was just a soldier in the mud. History tells us that while other men were panicking, while they were swinging their swords blindly at the noise, screaming in rage and fear, Musashi was different. He practiced something called Mushin, which means no mind. While the battle raged, he detached himself from it. He became a ghost in the machine of war. He didn't look at the enemy's face that would create fear. He didn't look at the enemy's sword that would create fixation. He looked at the rhythm of the battle. He saw the gaps between the screams. He saw the split-second hesitation before a soldier struck. He survived the deadliest battle in history, not because he was the fastest, not because he was the strongest. He survived because he was the quiet one. 45 years later, undefeated in over 60 duels, Musashi wrote his masterpiece, The Book of Five Rings. He dedicated the final chapter to one concept, the void. He wrote, "By knowing things that exist, you can know that which does not exist." He taught that the warrior who is full of ego, full of talk, full of the desire to be seen, is easy to kill. He is predictable. He is heavy. But the warrior who is empty, the ghost, is impossible to predict. If you have no form, the enemy cannot cut you. If you have no words, the enemy cannot argue with you. If you have no desire for attention, the enemy cannot manipulate you. Musashi made a critical distinction that applies to your life right now. In your office, in your relationships, in your family. He separated vision into two types: kensight, looking at the surface, seeing the clothes, hearing the words, seeing the distraction. This is weak. This is what loud people do. But the ghost uses can perception, seeing the essence, seeing the intent, seeing the spirit. This is strong. The ghost observer uses can, while your colleagues are distracted by the details of the project or the office gossip. Ken, you are perceiving the power struggle, and the hidden agenda, Ken. You're seeing the invisible world. You're playing chess while they're playing checkers. The only problem is, you haven't made your move yet. You've been hoarding this data. You've been sitting on a gold mine of insight, but doing nothing with it because you're afraid to speak. That ends right now. We're going to install a new operating system in your mind. We're converting your social anxiety into strategic intelligence. This is not a theory. This is protocol. 3 levels. 3 techniques. These are based on principles from intelligence work, hostage negotiation, and classical martial arts. Not because they're cool, because they work. Level 1, the encompassing gaze. In Japanese martial arts, there's a concept called metsuke, the way you look at an opponent. If you stare at his eyes, you get hypnotized by his emotion. If you stare at his sword, you get killed by his movement. You must look at the mountain. You look at the whole picture at once. Soft focus. The practice. Next time you're in a meeting or social group, stop trying to think of what to say. Drop that burden. You don't need to speak. Your job is reconnaissance. Map the room. Switch your eyes to metsuke. Look at their hands. Are they fidgeting? That's anxiety. Look at who they look at when they laugh. That's who they seek validation from. Look at who is silent. That's your only threat. When you shift your goal from participation to intelligence gathering, your social anxiety will vanish. Because you're no longer the prey, you're the scientist. Level 2, the tactical pause. In conversation, humans are trained to fill silence. We're terrified of the awkward pause. The ghost observer weaponizes this fear. The technique: when someone asks you a tough question, or when someone tries to pressure you, wait 4 seconds. Count them in your head. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look them right in the eyes. Maintain the silence. In those 4 seconds, 2 things happen. You process. You actually think about your answer. You access your deep thinking network instead of blurting the first thing that comes to mind. And they crumble. The other person will think you disapprove. They'll think you know something they don't. They'll start to negotiate against themselves. I mean, we could do it the other way if you want. Unless you think that's a bad idea. What do you think? Silence creates a vacuum. Let them fill it with their insecurities. A machine gunner sprays thousands of bullets to hit one target. A sniper fires 1 bullet. Who is more feared? The extrovert is the machine gunner. Constant fire. Most of it misses. You are the sniper. The rule: do not speak to add to the conversation. Do not speak to be polite. Speak only when you have the killing blow. The solution to the problem no one else sees. The summary that clarifies the hour-long confusing argument. The question that exposes the liar. When the quietest person in the room finally speaks, the volume of the room drops. The contrast creates authority. If you speak rarely, your words become gold. If you speak constantly, your words are inflation. They lose value. Be the gold. Here's what I'm not saying. I'm not telling you to become a manipulative sociopath. I'm not telling you to fake it or wear another mask. What I'm telling you is this: stop apologizing for your nature. The world tried to convince you that your quietness is a bug. It's not. It's a feature. But like any powerful tool, it can be used constructively or destructively. A surgeon's scalpel can save a life or take one. The knife doesn't make that choice. You do. Use these techniques to protect yourself from manipulators. Use them to create space for your real voice to emerge. Use them to stop letting loud, mediocre people run your life. But don't use them to become what you hate. The goal is not to dominate others. The goal is to stop letting others dominate you. You've spent your whole life apologizing for your nature. You've tried to force yourself to be the life of the party. You've worn a mask that doesn't fit. And it has exhausted you. Stop. Burn the mask. Embrace the ghost. Embrace the shadow. There's a reason the wise man is depicted sitting on a mountain in silence, not shouting in the market square. Wisdom requires silence. Strategy requires observation. Power requires the void. You are dangerous not because you're loud. You are dangerous because you're the only one who sees the truth. So go back into the world. Walk into the noise. But do not join it. Watch, wait, and when the moment is right, strike. You are the 2% who see what others miss. You are the signal in a world of noise. You are the ghost. Don't just observe. Watch.